Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this is part 2 of my visit to Hemswell Antiques Centre in Hemswell Cliff Lincolnshire, got to get that right, and yeah, more rabbit holes, more new glass, lots of things that I've not encountered before. So yeah, still plenty of learnings for me, hopefully for you too. So yeah, with that said, let's get on because there's plenty of film in this one. A couple of Bohemian goblets there shooting by me. Yeah, they're saying they're Bohemian as well. So I've googled Bohemian enamelled glass, and yeah, so you see a lot of stuff. A lot of it is what's called hysterismus, where they're copying stuff from the Middle Ages and Renaissance period, like this here and this. But the modern stuff is what we were looking at there. So it is 20th century, and you will see quite a bit of that up here. So this bit here, this bit, let's expand this one. Have a look. There you go. So these glasses are done the same way as the ones we were looking at. Go back. I haven't looked at many others. Just ping this. You can see it's not my taste, but you can see. I think the word is when they have paint this thick like this. I think it's called impasto, where they have thick dollops of paint, and you can actually see there is some skill in it in that the paint has actually got paint mixed into it, so they're not going with a straight palette of white paint here. Within it, they've probably mixed a strip of white and a strip of green, and they applied the brush so that it's got both on the brush at the same time. So when they splodge it on like this, it gives you this, and it's said that the paint they're putting it on, it's like it's toothpaste almost. It's not my favorite thing, but you need a degree of skill to do it. You need, because the people doing this will be churning it out, so they need to be able to control the paint very well. Let's see if there's anything else that's pops up. I'm gonna have another look at view more. I didn't go that far. Must be something else here. I'm getting a little bit surprised. Oh, here's another one here. Look at this. There you go. You can see the same technique, the gilding. Then this is piped on, but then you've got this. So it's a bit like doing something like Moorcroft or something, but they're using enamel paints which are then fired in. You could probably chip them off if you really had a go, but yeah, it's kind of skilled, but it's not my favorite thing. Anyway, so that's what we were looking at. They're Bohemian. They're most likely to be 20th century. They might even be newer, because I think I've seen a video and they're still doing it today. But yeah, I'm waiting for something to come by that I saw that's going round on here, and it's this Lalique bowl. Look at that. Look at that. Never seen that pattern before. 385 they want for it, and you can get it online if you really wanted to. So I managed to track down this Lalique bowl. It's called Rose's Trellis. Now there's an important thing to remember about Lalique. There's two kinds. So René Lalique died in 1945, and there's a kind that was designed and made when he was alive, and then there's the kind that was made after he died. And the ones from when he's alive have a bit more cachet and value than the ones that are after he died. He died in 1945. Before 1945, all of the Lalique glass was marked R. Lalique, and after he died it was just Lalique or Lalique France. I found this one which is sold. They don't give me a price, unfortunately, but here they're telling you it is Lalique France, but also they're giving you a date. circa 1990. This is the only one that I've been able to find that's actually giving a date, and seeing as it's got certificate of Bardo Provenance, it's kind of like probably fairly safe date. So yeah, so this is it. I did find something else very interesting, because there's lots of clear ones, but hey, it came in red as well. So yeah, no price with this one either. And what they've got in here seems to be a bit of a cut and paste of what was in the other one, so which is more rounded out and more detailed. So anyway, there you go. It is Lalique, but it's after René Lalique had died, which has a little, although it is a big piece at the same time. So yeah, it's got things for and against it. Yeah, I have to admit that I'm actually not going to do everything in here, because I've got haven't got enough life. Yeah, there's so much glass and stuff in here. I'm just going to pick things out. Got a little Mary Gregory vase that's coming around here. This looks, yeah, sort of, yeah, 1870s and 1900 kind of look to it. So there's cabinets like this, yeah, and this is not the kind of stuff I'm really looking for. This is interesting though. What they've got on that beautiful, oh, yeah, they don't know. Yeah, I was hoping they would know, because what caught my eye was these little dots here. That is a little technical detail that they've added onto that. That's not been easy to do, I don't think. And then they've got these lovely little transfer things here. There's a couple of, they're saying these are Murano. I think this is actually Italian, but not Murano. I've seen these with those labels on. Yeah, the base is just scuffed flat. Yeah, not sure this is really, I might be wrong, but I don't think it is. And yeah, as usual, I think that's a Luminarc decanter back there, looking at where the stopper's put on. Yeah, there is one piece of glass on this stall, but it's just up my alley. Really nice Georgian. Is the stopper original? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that feels very original. Let's see if I can get it into the picture. The ware on that goes with the bottle, and it looks like it's never been recut, because it would have a very much more no, it wouldn't have very much surface wear on it, so it's got your expected chips and that. So this is a very good decanter. What date have they said on it? So yeah, this is not Victorian, this is earlier. This price is nice and low, so I reckon this is probably 1830s, might be 20s, but I think it's a 30s one. It's very nice. This book is The Decanter, Ancient to Modern by Andy McConnell. The decanter we were looking at, if you look at it from about there up, the panelling is like this. Yeah, can you see where it's cut off square at the bottom? Yeah, if you look at this one here, you can see it's rounded. This is what you'd normally see. I think the square one's probably a bit later. And this, he's dated this one 1820. Now, the base is not like this. It's like this here, which he has also dated 1820. Okay, so obviously the top bit's not like that. Now the top of it is like, or the rings are thick facets like this one here, and the date he has on this is 1835 to 40. And you've kind of got to go with the later features and the heavy cutting, the amount of heavy cutting, even into the, which I'm not even sure this one's got it, where even the, on that one, the stem on the mushroom stopper is cut as well. Okay, so the way you need to think of it is flat panels, and the more heavy cutting there is, usually it's later. Steam cutting came in sort of like after 1800, steam powered cutting, and when it was all either water or foot powered treadle cutting, the cutting was more cautious, and then once steam power came in, it became heavier and heavier. There were still constrictions because of the costs of glass by weight at that time, but the cutting became less cautious as time went on. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of saying the amount of cutting over the whole body of the thing makes me think 1830. It might be early, it might be 1820. It won't be later than 1845 because decanters became heavier after that. So anyway, that's the time period I'm thinking. So here we go. Also, that price of £22, and there was actually a Tutti, so you could ask for £2 off if you said, can I have the £2 trade off? £20, absolute bargain for a really nice, good quality, clean decanter from that period. Look at these are nice. Look at the stoppers and everything. They're cool. And it looks all complete. How much have they got on it? £300. Yeah, it all looks very original, very right. The bottles fit in nicely. The little rings that you see here, that's to rest the stoppers in. So when you're going to take the stopper out to pour a drink, you take the stopper out, put it into that ring, and then you're going to pour your stuff, put it back, then you can put the stopper back. Yeah, very annulated rings. This is a very nice thing. I might be able to. There's a maker that made these kind of stands. I can't remember their name. It's two names, quite posh sounding names. So I will pull that out and at least give a sort of like possible attribution. They've said 1830s. Looks right. Might be 20s though. Might be a bit earlier. Yeah, but yeah, they're very nice. So I'm back with the Decanter Ancient and Modern by Andy McConnell. And yeah, so this is a section here on decanter stands. And so this is the name I was thinking of. It's Waterhouse and Ryland. Yeah, really posh. So what made me think? So the dates he's got on these, let me check again, make sure I get this right. He's got 1810 on this one, and then this one here, he's got 1820 to 25. Now, and there's another one over here, which is in the same ballpark. He's saying 1820 on that. So this is where I'm going with these dates. This one's earlier. If you look at the stand, it's simpler. Okay. Now the stand that we were looking at was a mixture of being a bit fancy and a bit simple. So the base was more like this, and then the uprights were a bit, a bit more Rococo-esque. I would say a bit more like the feet on here. So yeah, and the handle was simpler than this one, but not as simple as this one. So that's why I'm feeling like, and these decanters look earlier, so yeah, they do look like 1810 decanters. The ones we were looking at were closer to these. So I think 1820 is a good date, and possibly Waterhouse and Ryland, because they're a very nice set. Yeah, and the £300, seeing how complete they were. Sometimes you see stoppers have been remade, or even a whole bottle has been remade, or actually they're not the original, etc., etc. But that looks all original. So you've literally got 7 pieces there. So you've got the stand itself, 3 bottles and 3 stoppers all together that have stayed together for 200 years. Yeah, that's but actually looking at that one, That is more closer to the bottles that we were looking at just now. So anyway, that's my thoughts. There is another decanter stand in the back of here. This one looks a bit later, looks more very Victorian. I can't see the price on it. The labels jammed down in between the bottles. But again, it's another one that's complete. No big chips out the top or anything. The stoppers all look original. Yeah, that's another good one. Notice the difference on this one. Usually it's the earlier ones that have the little rings for the put the stoppers in. The later ones tend not to, which goes along with what we're seeing here. So the book I'm looking at here is the Decanter, an Illustrated History of Glass from 1650 by Andy McConnell. This is Andy McConnell's older book. So the other one we were looking at is his newer one. I think he's still got it for sale. So yeah, you need to rush out and buy that one before they're all gone, and they end up as being as expensive as this one. So the decanter frame that we were looking at was fancy like these ones. Yeah, not exactly the same. The handle was probably somewhat more like this. And he's dating these 1840s. Yeah. I would query this one here, because the way it worked was, in general, so I'm not saying everything was like this, but this is from 1795. You can see it's a simpler style, and it carried on like this probably for about another 20 years or so, and then they started getting fancier and fancier and fancier, and they became like this, these two here, and then sometime, so they were considering more is more, you know, more cast pieces and chisel bits and etc., more rococo, etc. And then at some point in the late 19th century, someone said less is more. I think it was probably Christopher Dresser, and stars started to come in more like this. So I think this one is probably late 19th century. When I look in my catalogues for Victorian shopping, which are from the late 19th century, all of them are like this. There's no fancy jobs, everything. So they've got several decanter stands from different suppliers, and they're all simple. Even the cruet sets are simpler as well. None of them are looking like this really rococo twiddly stuff. So anyway, the one we were looking at is twiddly like this, which makes me think it's more your early Victorian style. Very nice pair of Jack and pulpit vases here. Victorian, they say. Yep, I agree. Don't know who would make those. Lots of companies in Stourbridge were making these kind of things, but those are very pretty with the uranium tops there. Very nice. This is just a little side room. I thought I'd just film what it's like in here. There's another side room over there. There's more down there. There's just, this place is a rabbit warren. Let's have a look. Walk in. Not even sure. Czech vase. Don't know who that maker is. It says Beranek, mid 20th century. I'll see if I can find that. So looking here at the Czech Glass Guide .cz website, I have been through, so I found out that Jan Beranek worked for the Skolovich, I think that's how you say it, I'm probably wrong, but anyway, Skolovich Glassworks. I have been through years. You can get to find the Glassworks through this page here, but then you can cheat, cut and start jumping through the years. I've jumped through years and years. I think probably the closest I've got in looks is in, is it 59? Anyway, yeah, there's loads of stuff in here. I think it's 59. Yeah, look, there's got some vases. No, it wasn't 59. But they've got some more sort of pulled vases there. But, and oh look, this is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, So this kind of pull thing, the only thing is it's not pulled at the top. This is Jan Berenac, and you've got these other ones which are pulled like this. But yeah, I haven't been able to pin that exact vase down. I've been on this for ages. I've literally gone through like about 30 years of stuff here. Did a quick search here, and where do you end up? 20th century glass. Go to 20th century glass. There's the vase we were even looking at just now, but they don't have that exact vase. These are a bit similar, but they're by Jindrich Berenac, not Jan. They're different. Yeah, look, if you look here, that's Jan Berenac, and this is Jindrich. So there's different Berenacs working at the same glassworks, doing designs. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't have anything exactly the same, so that's no good. What I did notice was, let's click on here. Yeah, Czech glass guides. Yeah. But there's a book here called Berenac and Slow, so it must be in there. Legends of Glass. Can I find that book? Hang on. No. Other people. This is the book. I thought, yeah, I'm going to run away and buy it before anybody else sees it. Yeah, a book's no longer available. Yeah, it's just not out there to be bought. Mark Hill. He says, yeah. No, it's not there either. Yeah. I can't pin it down. I think it is because I did this search here, and you can see several people are telling you that's it there. There's several people selling it as that. It might be that they're all lemming off the same cliff, and they might all be wrong, but they might be right. I need the book. And this is the problem with when you don't have the right books or stuff that you can trust. I think the Czech Glass Guide looks trustworthy, but I don't think they've got every piece for every year in there. They just have a lot of pieces for a lot of years. So, and if they have got every piece for every year, then it isn't him. But I don't know that either. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna give up on this because it's just one item in the thing, and I've burned quite a lot of time on it. A couple of Mary Gregory decanters there, and then yeah, I saw these down here. Davidson, yeah, they've got Davidson's written on them. Rare 1889. Let's see if these are in my books. I've not seen those patterns before, so I'll agree with the rare bit. What else is in here? Yeah, the teardrop there. I think that might be a Chinese copy. So I searched for Chinese Somerset teardrop, and this appeared. But even better, 20th century glass has something to say about them. So punch into here, and here we go. I think it was like this one here, this color, but you can see the general idea. From what I've been told, Somerset never made these teardrops, and this is actually telling you the story here. Pink and blue Somerset, blah blah blah. Made in China, the teardrop shaped Somerset style dull frosted base is a typical finish of Chinese product. These can be found in many different colours on Alibaba trade website. So there you go. I'm certain they've been around for a while though, so they're not, you know, we're seeing them in there. I don't know how long they've been made for, but I see them enough to know, and not, you know, I never see them as like a cluster of 5 or something like that, just odd ones here and there. So they're truly second-hand items. So they've been bought, used, and eventually sold on and appeared in antique centres. So I don't, does it, let me just click here. Is he going to tell me any more on it? This piece was made in China probably in the last 10 to 20 years. There you go. So he's kind of with me on that. Just the way I see them and the different colours and slight variations means that they're not all churned out in the last 6 months and arrived as one. That's all I can say. Yeah, but this is Murano. I think that's Avem. That's very nice. So I've typed in Murano Tutti Frutti Avem bowl, and this is what comes up. You can see these lovely colourful bowls with lots of little glass colours in them, Tutti Fruttis. And they're slightly different styles. The prices are just, you know, all over the shop really. £78. Oh, that's not right. But you can see the prices are, if that is one, that's a very cheap one. But yeah, it looks like for the ones that look right, they're sort of like in that £60–70 round to 300, depending on the look and feel. Now we're getting away from them being the real ones, but you look at these ones here. This is all what we're about. All these different colours and bits of inclusions mixed in into a little compact bowl. Just to make sure people are not jumping off the lemming tree, I did a quick search in 20th century glass because I know that I don't have any books for this. He does. So yeah, because he usually covers a lot of his stuff with references, always got. So this is a Tutti Frutti here, but there is more in here. Look, there's more. Styles change a little bit, so they're not all exactly the same. They have different looks and feels, so these are the kind of like really bright ones, and the colours are changing a bit. More colours. Bowls again. There's going to be more. This one's different again, and that one. See where I'm going. Here's one that's more shaped like the one that we were looking at. And then we've got some others, leaf-shaped ones. Another one that's shaped more like we were looking at. Yeah, this is what the kind of thing it is. So, in fact, that one's closer looks-wise to what we were looking at. Although what we were looking at is a bit greener. But anyway, that's what it is. So, there we go. And a bit of confirmation here. Chip and Dale, little miniature candlesticks. They're nice, they're cute. What else is in here? Yes, a few bits and pieces. Oh, look. We spotted one there in the middle. Murano seahorse. I mean, Medina seahorse. So, yep, it now qualifies as an antique centre. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, saying it qualifies as an antique centre when it clearly is, pretty much everywhere I go, every antique centre of almost any size has got Medina seahorses in it. This is what they're like. You can see they usually have this kind of blue base with a bit of yellow stripe in them. There's some variation in them. Yeah, pretty much everywhere has them. I think they were the favourite souvenir to bring back from Malta for years. People must have loved them, brought them back by the ton load. However, not all of these seahorses are from, in fact, are from Medina, Medina glassworks. Some of them are from the Phoenician glassworks. This one here in this lot stands out to me as being maybe not. It's a bit different, and I've seen a couple with labels on. Yeah, there's nothing else here that's jumping out at me. Most of these are looking very Medina-esque, but that one is standing out, and that I don't know if my memory's right, but I think this might be similar to the one I was looking at. If I put in Medina Seahorse, you will see that there's only a couple. There's this one here, which is labelled, but it's in frosted glass. And then there's this one here. Let me just click a picture up. You can see how close it is to the Medina ones. And this one is labelled as well. If I go back, let me pick up the other picture there you go. Phoenician glass label. So yeah, not all of them are Medina. There's I don't know what percentage wise, but it's a very low percentage of them are Phoenician ones, and I've seen a couple on my trips with Phoenician labels on. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see them everywhere. The prices, if I go back to this page, you can see the prices here. It's £7.50. There's one for £24.99. So yeah, the prices are vary. I've seen one as cheap as £2 is the absolute cheapest. 10 to £15 is about average. So anyway, also the other thing you need to watch out for is these little wave bowls, which are like little ashtrays or something, or little trinket bowls that you put your rings in or something. But yeah, that's the other thing that you see a lot of. That's from Medina. This looks like it might be Kribska. It says Murano there. I'll see if I can find that, see if it is Kribska or not. Not definite. Nothing else in here is jumping out at me. So I'm looking at the 1999 Kribska catalogue that I've downloaded from the Czech Glass Guide. And yeah, so I think this is the bowl that we're looking at. It's in a different colorway, but you can see it has this clear cased base underneath. You can see here it's like made up of 4 sections, like the one we were looking at. There are other colorways. So yeah, this is the only one of that shape in that catalogue. But when you look at this, you can clearly see, I think actually this is the colorway we were looking at. Which is like that. So yeah, I think this is the colorway and this is the shape. So there you go. I didn't look in the 77 one, so let me do that just in case. Yeah, I had a quick shufty in the 77 catalogue. I can't find that shape in here. So it's post 77. You're probably saying it's 80s or 90s or something like that. So yeah, there's similar stuff like this one here, but not exactly the same moulding shapes in it, or pulled shapes. So there we go. It is definitely in the 99 catalogue, and the colourways in this 99 catalogue. You look in here, your eyes are jumping around everything, these little boxes. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but there's this. Yeah, I don't recognise it. It's a bit like a Stevens and Williams, but I don't think it is. These are nice. These might be Whitefriars, early Whitefriars. Yeah, especially with the little cut bases. They're very nice. How much have they got? 1995. Yeah, so I will show you these in the book. I think they're in the 1860s Whitefriars catalogue. So this book is Whitefriars Glass, James Powell and Son of London, by the Museum of London. This is the 1860s catalogue. Yeah, there's the finger bowl. It's not that finger bowl, is it? I mean, these are the honeycomb moulded ones in 1860s. However, if I go back to 1855, and what's interesting here is this little indicator here and here, which is telling me these have got a small star cut in the base, just like those, and this is the shape. So the ones in all the finger bowls in 1860s are shallower. Look, just over the page, look, this is 1860s, shallower, can you see? And the ones in 1855 are nice round deep ones. So I think it is Whitefriars, or very, very likely to be Whitefriars, and it's going to be 1850s. And then a bit more over here. This looks very Bohemian. Cocktail. Shaker. But yeah, I think that's Bohemian. This is Romanian from the Padura Niagara factory. What have they got written on that? Vintage. Glass hand vase. Yep. But yeah, so this is Romanian from the 1970s. Yeah, that's cool, because I think I've seen a hand one somewhere, but not in real life. So that is cool. But yeah, that's like that. So I've typed in Romanian glass vase into Bing, and just this one appears. Now, I see a lot of these vases. I've seen them with labels. They're definitely Romanian. I know where they come from. Yeah, so it is a really strange thing that hardly anybody... I suspect if I was to type in Murano glass vase, more of them would appear. There's a couple of fish that are Romanian in here that are upright, so they're like vases. But yeah, I've scrolled down through this stuff. Yeah, and it's just not, you know, I thought there would be more. And in fact, if I go back to the main search, yeah, there's just, for some reason, I just thought there would be more, and there's hardly anything here. There's this one, which is an earlier one. The labels on these are Romanian, which is pre-1975. There is a basket here, which has actually got the same colorway as the one that we were looking at, and this is Romanian as well. So yeah, it is. I just expected more to pop up, because I do see them occasionally with the labels on, and I thought more people would know. The one that's here, it says it's an end of day thing, and it's a main staple of, this is the factory, so when it's a main staple of this factory, they were really, just like the fish and the baskets, they were going for it. They were churning these things out by the bucket load, because you see them everywhere. Anyway, that's enough said on that. I think it's Romanian, probably from the 70s or 80s. A couple more finger bowls. Yeah, they're 99, and they're the same. Look, can you see? I've seen these in a book before, but for the life of me, I don't know where. They're really unusual. I'll see if I can re-find them. I might not have any luck. So you know how it is. You're sitting in the comfort of your own home, watching these quiz programs and knowing the answers, knowing that you probably wouldn't know them if you were under scrutiny. So yeah, I recognise those bowls, and it just wasn't coming to me. As soon as I sat down, I was watching my videos back, I was thinking, oh, those are French. I think they're crystal darks. And so yeah, I did a quick Google, crystal dark frosted bowl, and up pops this one here. I mean, a few popped up. Crystal dark frosted bowl. There's ones with a foot. In fact, most of them with a foot. What else? There's another one with a label on it, I think. No, that's just a refraction. Yeah, most of them have got a foot actually. But yeah, this one has the label on it. It says J.G. Durand, which is actually the parent company of Crystal Darks. They own Luminarc and what's the other one? Arcaroc. So yeah, you'll see a lot of the mass producers of glass in France. I think all of the companies like that in the UK are gone, but they're still going in France. They're still making glass there, mass produced glass. So anyway, that's what it is. I think for them it's their, especially as it's got the JG Durant label on it, I think it's their fancier glass for them, for a mass producer. So that, and it said they thought it was from the 80s, the people selling it on Etsy, and it's probably right. Yeah, nice tantalus here. It's got a price on it somewhere. $5.95. Yeah. I can't see what the. It's got a plaque on it. It's got the original key. The bottles all look to be original. None of them look to be chipped. $5.95 is a bit toppy, but it is. If you look here, it is a quality one. Yeah, I can't. It's got some marquetry down here. Yeah, so this was a quality one. It's not usual oak. It's better than that. There's a few decanters here that, yeah, I don't know these. Yay, some baby shams. And there's different, so you've got different ages here. These yellow ones are from the 70s, but this one is different. He's a 1950s little deer. So yeah, he's more valuable than the others. So what was I talking about with those baby sham deers? So there are a few articles giving you the dates of things. They all seem to be giving the same dates, which is good. But this is the oldest article. This lady seems to be, says she's into cocktails. I think this is her collection of glasses that she's demonstrating with. So this is the deer that you get in the 50s. Here it is. I don't know why she's photographed it against the background, but there is the deer. She's talking about it having a hexagonal stem, etc. But a little white shocked looking deer is what you get with the original 50s baby sham glasses. Then through to the 60s, you can see that the deer looks like it's leaping over something because it's got its legs out at the front. Okay, so yeah, it's a change from the, so this deer is just standing still, this deer is leaping, and then in the so that's the 60s one again. Baby sham looks a bit different the way it's worded, still a hexagonal glass. So this is the 70s deer where it is leaping, but it's got its, I think these are called forelocks, bent back as it's leaping forward. It doesn't have a hexagonal stem. So yeah, so there's the difference. It goes forward again on here. Oh no, she doesn't go forward beyond that. There are newer ones. Let me go to another one that's newer. This one here. So this lady has the same things. Here, look, there's the why is it doing that? Anyway, yeah, there's the little white deer. There's the one where it's leaping with the legs forward in the 60s, legs back in the 70s. Then in the 80s, the deer goes brown and it goes a bit more cartoony looking. And then she's got 2000s ones, which has got a little hat on it, and it's goldy. Anyway, so yeah, those are the different kinds. I should have gone with this one I saw first anyway, because it's got the 80s deers in it as well. So there you go. That's what I mean about the different deers coming from different decades. Oh, look at this decanter back here. £24 I want for it. That's a nice decanter. The stopper's not right. It should have a mushroom. It's from a bludgeon decanter, the stopper, but the bottle is a nice big bottle. That'll be like circa 1810. So I thought for this I would use my own website as the reference. So if I go into decanters, go to Georgian, scroll down to the bottom, there we go. So that bottle is like this, should have a stopper that's like this here. Yeah, so that's the kind of stopper it should have. If I then go back a page, go to Victorian, where are we? Here we go. And that is the kind of stopper we've got. So yeah, what's the date on the 40s to 60s I've said for this. So yeah, that is the kind of stopper we saw it. So the stopper is like probably about 40-50 years newer than the decanter. A couple here. These are a bit later. These would be 1830s. I thought as we were looking at my website as a reference, I would go back to my website, scroll back to the top, go back, go to cylinder. So we were looking at these cylinder decanters, and I'll show you something. So this is the kind of decanter we were looking at. This body is exactly the same. I think it's exactly the same cutting and everything, but you can see this one has a blown mushroom. Now, for these decanters, 95% of them have a blown mushroom, but and this is like this pure, straight, early royal shaped, because it's a royal shaped decanter, and they're from about the 1830s. But a small percentage of them have spire stoppers. Now, what we were looking at there was a pair with spire stoppers, and I've seen other pairs with spire stoppers as well as odd ones, which kind of, when you see pairs with spire stoppers, it's less likely that someone's done a replacement. Yeah, to get two spires and two decanters the same and put them together is a very unlikely and unusual thing. When you're dealing with glass that's 150 plus years old, you're likely to get slight mismatches and everything. And those decanters, there were a pair of decanters and the stoppers were a matching pair too, which gives me some comfort that they started life like that. And also, as I've seen other pairs just the same, I am comfortable that the low percentage that we see with spire stoppers are right. Something I would like to point out from my website as well, when you look at this decanter here, it is a very standard thing. A lot of them were made, and what I try to do is include book references. So you've got like the two Andy McConnell with the pages as well, Derek Davis book, Douglas Ash book, Phil Hughes book. So yeah, I try to, when you look at my website, I try to include references. I do have an update in the waiting, and actually, although there's new things in there, there are actually quite a lot of new references. I've made an effort to go through some new books and different books and page references to the pictures that I've got that are on my website. So I hope you enjoyed that. I did mention just there that I have a update for my website in the waiting. I've been working on it for yonks. Not even sure what's in there, to tell the truth, because I've been working on it on and off for months. I might take a little break from filmmaking just to concentrate on it for a little while and get it out, so that there's always corrections to do, and some of them are like a year old now, and also and I'll bring in new mistakes too, just that's how it goes. But there's corrections to be made, there's new glass to add. I like to put lots of new references and stuff like that, so that give you a bit more surety of what I'm looking at, that when I'm showing you and describing something to you, it is what other people are agreeing with me, at least anyway. With that said, all of the references I've used will be in the description below, as well as all of the contact information for Hemswell Antiques Centre. and please remember to like and subscribe because it helps the channel. And yes, and that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good one. Good night.